This is the brand new second-gen Skoda Kodiaq, which compared to the last one is more spacious, more techy, higher quality, and it's very, very efficient. So there's a plug-in hybrid version now, and the battery is bigger than original Nissan Leafs. So you pretty much wouldn't even need to look at the fuel tank. And there's something very unusual about it. Come and have a look at this.
But before we do, just a reminder that if you're interested in leasing a brand new Skoda, make sure you head over to autotrader.co.uk. The link's in the description.
See these? Yes, Kodiaq is a new car that hasn't moved everything onto a massive screen. They're three little knobs with a purpose. They have a screen on them, because why move the knobs onto the screen when you can move the screen onto the knobs? I love it.
They're called smart dials. They're very cool. But first and foremost, they're functional because they control the things you'll want to do quickly while on the move. Just press to scroll between functions and then turn the dial to adjust.
And yeah, okay, I get that that's not that exciting, but if you've spent any time wading around a massive screen trying to find the control for the most basic of function, you'll understand that that is a game changer. Skoda is using all of the usual adjectives to describe the car. It's powerful, distinctive, striking, but they all say that, right? So this is why I think it's a clever piece of redesign. Now, this is the 5-seater version. The 7-seater will look exactly the same. So that they've done a very good job of hiding the bulkiness of what is essentially a very bulky SUV, particularly with their use of pillars, with these black gloss pillars here and the contrasting pillar here. It sort of somehow manages to make the side seem shallower. It's 61 millimeters longer than its predecessor, but it looks lower to me. It's certainly less top heavy than it was before. And I rather like how they've fattened out these wheel arches. Makes it all look a bit meaner. But you're gonna want to go for the biggest wheel options. These are 20s and they look pretty piddly on it. So imagine how small the standard 17s are gonna look. Two things to talk about at the front. Firstly, there are way more creases in the bonnet. There are more creases here than on the grass at Lord's. And these optional LED lights through the grille, which I rather like. I rather like the fact that they haven't gone full Ross Geller day glow teeth like they did in the Enyaq. It's all subtler and more classy. Not sure about the colour, but I like the shape. That same sense of subtlety continues around the back, because what's notable here is what's not here. Now, most of the modern cars have that long, wide light strip that spans the width of the car. Now, this might look like it illuminates, but it actually doesn't. And at night, apparently, it makes the car look wider and more classic, according to Skoda. As for the boot, that is absolutely humongous. So it's 75 litres bigger than the previous generation, 910 litres in the 5-seat version. It's also gone up by 70 litres in the 7-seater, giving 340 litres even with the back row of seats up. That's on par with a family hatchback like the Ford Focus.
But it's not just the volume of air in the boot, it's how thoughtful it all is. There are bag hooks, an adjustable twin floor, removable compartments, handles to drop the rear seats, and a tow bar release button. This is a seriously accommodating big hole.
And if you think that is just low-key clever, the cabin is even better. There is plenty of space here, loads of leg room, a good amount of headroom, even with my massive forehead, good-sized door bins, window shade, useful seat pockets, 2 USB ports, heated seats, plus cup holders. I'd go so far as to say it's superb. You know, because it's massive in here, like the Skoda Superb. No? And the cleverness continues up here. So you'll notice that this is a real step up from the previous Kodiaq. It all feels a lot cleaner, a lot more modern, and there are some really nice touches, like this LED light strip that spans the width of the car, just gives it a bit more quality. There actually isn't an awful lot that I don't like about this, other than the colour. And to go back to the beginning, it all feels very functional in here. So a 13-inch infotainment display as standard, a 10-inch digital display, again, as standard, and then for the first time ever in a Skoda, an optional heads-up display. They've moved the gear selector onto the steering column to free up space in the centre console, where you get this massive configurable space. And if you're wondering, all of the cars will have this because there is no manual option, basically because the previous Kodiaq, virtually nobody went for it. So they've bin that for a bigger bin. Not only that, but there are massive door bins, a very large glove box, basically loads of space to store your stuff. Oh, and you can charge 2 phones at the same time wirelessly.
And beyond all that, Skoda has kept its practicality greatest hits intact. The ice scraper, the pop-out door protectors, the umbrella, and the USB port for a dash cam, they're all present and correct, but they're joined by a newcomer.
This looks like a power bank or a lipstick, but it's actually a fingerprint remover. And it lives in here. Skoda really have thought of everything.
Another first for this Kodiaq is the addition of a plug-in hybrid, a very impressive looking one at that. No MPG figures just yet, but Skoda is claiming a 62-mile electric-only range from a 26 kWh battery. And it can charge at up to 50 kilowatt speed. Most BEVs can't do rapid charging. That makes this a plug-in hybrid that you could feasibly use as an electric car full-time. Elsewhere, it's pretty standard stuff. 2 diesels and 2 petrol engines, with power from 150 horsepower up to 204 horsepower. The most powerful ones coming with a 4-wheel drive. Mild hybrid technology features in the 150 horsepower 1.5 petrol version too, to improve fuel efficiency a bit. Another first for Skoda.
We'll find out more about the spec and the exact price tag when the car lands mid-2024, but given that the current Kodiaq starts at around 35k, you can assume that it will start a couple of grand more. So, potentially best sub 40k family car for 2024? Let me know what you think.